Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a runner, an athlete, or just someone who genuinely loves getting outdoors during the summer months, you already know the heat is absolutely no joke. But there is a massive, often totally misunderstood difference between just feeling worn out by the sun and facing a catastrophic medical emergency. Today we're going to break down the crucial differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. We'll be pulling some fantastic insights from running coach Adolfo Salgueiro, along with medical guidance from the Mayo Clinic, to really equip you to stay safe and thrive during all your summer activities. Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the summer running threat, phase 1, which is heat exhaustion, the climax, heat stroke, knowing the difference, and finally, proactive prevention strategies. Let's dive in. Starting off with section 1, the summer running threat, when the heat turns deadly. I love this quote from coach Adolfo Salgueiro. It is just a perfect reality check. He talks about getting an invite to run something literally called the Inferno 25K in Southwest Florida in the middle of July. He happily declined. And honestly, can you blame the guy? Running safely in the summer is absolutely doable, but it requires you to play it smart, respect your environment, and most importantly, actually listen to your body. So let's establish our baseline here. You know your normal core temperature sits right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 37 Celsius. Now, your body is this incredibly brilliant machine, right? It regulates that temperature by sweating. As the sweat evaporates off your skin, it cools you down. But here's the catch. When you're pushing yourself hard in hot, super humid weather, that sweat just kind of sits there. It fails to evaporate. And suddenly, your core temperature, which is your own body heat combined with the sweltering environmental heat, just starts climbing because your natural cooling system is completely overwhelmed.
Moving to section 2, phase 1, heat exhaustion, the warning signs.
What's really fascinating and, frankly, super dangerous about heat exhaustion is this weird mix of symptoms. Basically, your body is still desperately trying to fight off the heat. That's exactly why you'll see heavy sweating, but weirdly, your skin might actually feel cool and clammy. You might even get goosebumps in the dead of summer. Your pulse gets weak but rapid, kind of struggling to pump blood around, and you start feeling dizzy, completely drained, and nauseous. Maybe you even get nasty muscle cramps. Guys, this is your body waving a massive, bright yellow caution flag at you.
Okay, so if you hit that wall and experience those warning signs, you are officially in the heat exhaustion zone, and you need to act fast. Step 1, stop running immediately. Don't try to tough it out. Step 2, get yourself to a cooler spot, ideally somewhere with AC. Step 3, hydrate with cool water or sports drink. And step 4, rest and just monitor how you're feeling. If you're not feeling significantly better within an hour, it's time to call a doctor. The whole goal right here is simply stopping things from escalating any further. Which brings us to section 3, the climax, heat stroke, the life-threatening emergency. 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. That is an absolutely terrifying number. This represents the 911 threshold. At this exact temperature, your body has completely lost its ability to cool itself down. We're way beyond just feeling too hot at this point. This is the critical threshold where your vital organs literally begin to rapidly sustain injury. Notice the dramatic shift in symptoms here compared to heat exhaustion. Remember the cool, sweaty skin? Gone. Because your body's cooling system is totally broken, the skin becomes dangerously hot, dry to the touch, and flushed red. Your breathing gets rapid and shallow, and that weak pulse, it morphs into a violently rapid, bounding heart rate. But perhaps the scariest part is the altered mental state. We're talking severe confusion, slurred speech, delirium, maybe even seizures, all accompanied by a pounding, throbbing headache. Listen, I literally cannot stress this enough. Delayed treatment for heat stroke can cause extensive organ damage or even death. Coach Adolfo actually mentioned on his blog that a close friend of his survived a heat stroke only after the hospital had started making final preparations for him. Think about that. That's how close of a call it can be. This isn't a sit in the shade and drink water situation. It's a fatal emergency where you have to skip standard rest and take immediate aggressive action to cool the person down while you wait for the paramedics. Let's pivot to section 4, knowing the difference, contrasts that could save a life. Because the actions you need to take are so wildly different, let's put these head to head. The absolute most vital comparison you need to burn into your memory is moisture. If someone is sweating buckets, they're dealing with heat exhaustion. The body is struggling, sure, but it's still fighting the good fight. But if there's no sweat,
If their skin is bone dry and hot, that means the cooling system has 100% shutdown. That is heat stroke.
Next up, check their pulse. With heat exhaustion, the heart is working hard, but it's really inefficient, so you get this rapid but weak little flutter. Heat stroke, though, the body is in massive distress, making that pulse incredibly strong, rapid, and racing. And finally, check their head, the neurological symptoms. General dizziness or feeling faint points straight to exhaustion. But if they're complaining of a severe, throbbing headache, or if they seem confused, are slurring their words, or worst of all, actually lose consciousness, that absolutely screams heat stroke. When you look at this entire head-to-toe escalation visually, the required actions just become crystal clear, don't they? Heat exhaustion means finding AC in a cool shower. Heat stroke means calling 911 right that second and aggressively cooling them down until help shows up. Seriously, when in doubt, just make the call. And that brings us to Section 5, Proactive Prevention Strategies, Staying Safe in the Heat. To make sure you never even get close to that danger zone, you just need to follow these proactive steps from the Mayo Clinic. It's simple stuff, but it works. Wear loose, lightweight clothing. Always, always protect yourself against sunburn. A bad burn actually ruins your body's ability to cool itself down. Hydrate constantly. Check your meds too, because some prescriptions genuinely make you more vulnerable to heat. Avoid running during the absolute hottest part of the day. And please, give your body a little grace and time to acclimate when that summer weather first hits.
So, we've covered the brutal escalation from a simple hot day to life-threatening heat stroke. The question is, how are you going to adjust your training to survive and thrive this summer? Are you actually giving the heat the respect it demands, or are you pushing your core temperature a little too close to the edge? Think about it. Be smart, stay hydrated, and most importantly, stay safe out there.